Randy Nagelbauer's on the line. Good morning, Congressman. How are you? How was the 4th for you?
It was very nice. How about y'all?
It was pretty good. Pretty good. It was the fireworks were outstanding. Robert Grimes put this deal on over at the Cooper Stadium, and it was nuts. I mean, it was the best fireworks thing I've ever seen.
That's so nice of him to give back to the community like that. And, that's a feel-good story. And right now in America, we need a few feel-good stories. We had another one yesterday when the women won the World Soccer Championship, so that was a good thing.
Yeah, that was a huge deal. A lot of firsts in that game. Hey, all right. On the world landscape, we have this no vote in Greece. And we got their people dancing in the streets with stupidity. And a lot of people over here are looking at that as we're here, that's over there, and all Greek people are good for is euros and stuffed grape leaves, and it just ain't so. I mean, that is so close to what our reality could be. What do you make of that? I mean,
well, I think you're exactly right, and I think what we're watching unfold here could it be a beginning of a number of countries that could have to do the very same thing. Basically, globally, we've got a number of countries, including the U.S. of A., that have been borrowing money to operate on. And the debt increases, and our debt is now over $18 trillion, $56,000 per American citizen in this country. And we kind of look at Greece as like, oh, that's just Greece. But, what reason this is kind of a lot of people are watching this is that if Greece goes down this road, you've got Spain, Portugal, France, you've got a number of other European countries that are in basically close to a similar boat. And, the question is if this kind of behavior is rewarded where people don't want to take the steps, and sometimes the tough steps, to bring fiscal responsibility to their country, if we allow that to continue, then we'll see more and more of the Greece-like situations in the future.
Okay, I just got to ask you, from an American standpoint, from a standpoint of a lawmaker, what are you guys thinking, and what are you guys saying to people that are on the other side of the world? I mean, are we just sitting there and waiting for it, just watching it, or are you guys offering some insight, some advice? Are we saying anything to them?
Well, I think we have been saying things. We have the European central bankers, talking to the Federal Reserve and the Treasury officials here, and I think both of them have said to the European Union and to Greece is you're going to have to get your fiscal household in order, because here's what's happening. The banks supposedly, I think, tomorrow run out of money, and so people will go to an ATM machine to go get money out to buy groceries. The question is, at what point in time will merchants, be concerned about taking checks, and if you can't use your debit card to buy gasoline? I mean, this is a snowballing effect. And then at some point in time, if they withdraw from the European Union, then they have to form their own currency. And then the question is, what is that currency worth? And of course, it'll be measured in the value as it relates to euros, or the value as it relates to dollars. But you could see, well, how much is a cup of coffee? Well, it's 10,000 Greek dollars, because nobody knows what a Greek dollar is worth. So I think what we're watching unfold is going to be a laboratory. Hopefully, it leads to some of these other countries realizing, hey, that this is not a positive thing to be doing.
Don't think so. Hey, Randy, if you'll hang with us, we'll be back. News Talk 790 KFYO. Good morning is 747. Tom Collins, Sandra Ziegler, and Congressman Randy Nagelbauer.
Randy, thanks for being with us this morning. Just back to the issue with Greece this morning, and they're at a tipping point. And what do you have to say about the future of our country and the track that we're on with government spending, government programs, and people's increasing dependence on government programs, and our ability to pay for those things in the future?
Sandra, I'm very concerned about it because what we're seeing in Europe, what we see in the U.S., is it's hard to get people off of the government dole. And, when you if you would sit in my office for a week and see the people that come in to see me, and nobody comes into my office and saying, you know what, our program, we've got ways we can make some cuts in our program so we can get to balancing our budget. Everybody that comes to see me wants more money, and they have a very articulate reason why their program should be increased and other programs should be cut.
Yeah.
And so it's very difficult. But I'm very concerned. I mean, we're at $18 trillion. We'll blink our eye. We'll be at $20 trillion. The Federal Reserve is about to increase the rates again. And if we go to more traditional interest rates in this country, pretty soon the interest alone, just the interest alone on our national debt will be over $1 trillion. And this is just not sustainable.
That's incredible. And then, to say nothing of sort of the backside effects of that low interest rate environment, artificially low interest rate. I mean, we're just stealing savings from Americans, particularly people who are heading into retirement or already in retirement. And, we're counting on growth in their money, and it's just not there for years and years and years so that we can keep this up. But real quick, what do you have to say about the waters of the U.S. Issue and the fact that, Texas and 15 other states are going to sue the EPA or have sued the EPA over that overreach?
Yeah, well, that's the fight we've been very engaged in up here, and one of the things we're trying to do is roll back EPA, putting some riders in the appropriation bills, making them go back to the drawing board. I think one of the things that we've seen here recently is the courts have even said, that the EPA has kind of gone wild here, and so I'm very concerned about it, Sandra, because we start down this road with all of these regulations. It really begins to, be a taking of the property rights of American citizens, and I'm very concerned about that.
Well, at the state level, water being the very important issue that it is in the state of Texas, well, in any state, as we see right now in California, but we had been in a drought for so long, and just the idea that the state or the federal government would use a redefinition of navigable waters as a way to encroach on property rights. I mean, I understand people looking at that issue and thinking we've got to protect the water, but I think we've seen throughout history that there's no greater protector of water or land than the private property owner.
That's true. They're the biggest stakeholder, but when you start using the Endangered Species Act, you use the Waters of the United States, the Clean Air, the Clean Water Act, you use all of those. Basically, that just puts a big globe around a piece of property, and basically having the government control how you use, when you use your property, and it's not a good trend.
No, Randy. I mean, it's one of those things where it's you just thought it was your property, but it's really not your property. You get it?
Yeah. I get it, and I think that's what you see farmers and ranchers, and not just farmers and ranchers, but you talk to any small business person right now about all of the regulations that they're facing today, and they don't really feel like they're in many times in control of their businesses, and it's one of the reasons I believe, and this is my personal opinion, that we don't see the kind of job growth in this country is because people are just afraid to step out there because they spend more time trying to be in compliance with these new regulations than they do out trying to grow their businesses.
Okay. Hey, Randy, got a call coming up on the other side of the break. News Talk 790 KFYO. Good morning. Right now, 7:57. Got a real quick question. John's on the line. John, what's your question?
Yes, Congressman, wanted to know if you have any reason why we should give foreign aid to regimes that are openly adversaries of ours. I have a question about foreign aid in general, but especially those that hate us. I personally think giving them money isn't going to make them love us any. Okay, I will hang up and listen on the radio for your answer.
All right, we've got about 60 seconds, Randy.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to have to rethink our whole foreign aid strategy. In the past, our foreign aid strategy was help countries develop themselves, and that would make those countries more stable. Maybe they endear them to the U.S. In some cases, we gave some countries foreign aid to beef up their military to help, stabilize the region. But as the listener says, as John says, some of these countries hasn't turned out to be such a good strategy for us. So definitely, with running these big deficits, foreign aid would be an area where we could, see opportunities to cut back.
Well, leave the foreign aid out of it. Why are we even sitting down at the table with countries like Iran? I mean, I don't understand that. We sit there and you say, you better not do it, you better not do it, you better not do it. There's a red line there, and it's just like we keep moving it back and moving it back and moving it back. And then, John Kerry finally has this brain fart and comes to the realization that I think we might be in trouble on this thing.
Yeah.
Seriously?
And we're negotiating from a position of strength, or we should be negotiating from a position of strength here, because these sanctions are working. Iran, the country of Iran, is hurting. The people are hurting, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on their elected leadership. If we'll just stay the course here, we'll be able to bring Iran to more rational thinking.
All right. Hey, Randy, thanks for your time this morning. Appreciate you ringing us up. It's 7:59. Have a great day.
You bet. Take care.